Welcome back to Kind of Funny spoiler cast breakdown of The Last of Us Season 2 on HBO. Today we are talking about Episode 5, Feel Her Love, directed by Stephen Williams, who did many episodes of Lost, as well as the HBO Watchmen show.
That Sawyer's coming back now. He's got a new HBO show.
What's Sawyer's new show?
I don't know. It's Duster, I think it was. I saw a preview for it on the before this episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we got the Peacemaker trailer. It was awesome.
I got the Peacemaker trailer also.
Oh, see, I only paid for one, I guess. I only get one ad.
Well, to get Tim's credit card, let's make this thing happen.
God damn it, everybody. But more importantly, he directed episodes of Space Cases on Nickelodeon, which I was obsessed with, Greg. It was essentially Star Trek for like Nickelodeon 90s
I was sorry
kids.
that we cut him out of the podcast.
You know what I mean?
But now I'm
Yeah,
fucking
no,
sad
come
to
on.
let him
We've
back
learned our
in.
lesson years
You
ago.
know what I mean?
Space Cases in review when, everybody. But this is Kind of Funny's breakdown of Last of Us. Each and every week, we're going to totally spoil everything we thought about the episode that we saw in relation to our experience with playing Last of Us 2, the video game. So this will be full spoilers for all things Last of Us, whether it's the show, the games, or anything in between. You can get this each and every Monday. We're running out of them, though. We only have 2 left. So the next 2 weeks, we will be doing the reviews of this, and then it will be all over. Of course, if you love what we do, you can support us with the Kind of Funny membership. It gets you the shows ad-free, and you also get a daily exclusive Greg Way. I didn't introduce ourselves, but you probably know. I'm Tim. That's Greg.
Hello.
And that's Nick, everyone. If you do get the Kind of Funny membership, you get today's Greg Way, which is
Yet to be recorded. I had to drive Jen to the airport, so I didn't have my faculties about me.
Yeah.
It'll probably be about Giant Bomb.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Giant Bomb is in the air. And speaking of Giant Bomb, we've had a great day with
Like
them
sports.
already. You can check out the Kind of Funny Games daily episode with Greg and Jeff Grubb. And then you can check out the Death Stranding 2 Gamescast that I just did with Blessing and Dan Reichert. So awesome stuff all around, and our day is just beginning. After this, we will be doing a gameplay stream that is Andy hanging out with Nick as he starts up Expedition 33 for the first time. I am so excited. Nick, I am obsessed with this game.
I saw your
I'm
tweets.
obsessed with the world, the story, all of it. I don't know that the gameplay is going to grab you necessarily, but the story will. And I'm very excited to see you start the game up and see how the performance is and how they present everything, because like it's some real special shit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping in.
Yeah. We'll see how that all goes. But enough about all of that. I need to tell you about our very, very amazing and very, very special Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays, RF Frames, and Rocket Money, but we'll tell you all about that later. Let's get into it. Feel Her Love, Episode 5. Greg Miller, I want to start with you. What'd you think of this one?
I liked it when the credits rolled. I think in the middle of it, I was a bit like, I want to get going a bit more. There's nothing like, there's no cardinal sin they did that alienated me or did something from it, but I was just more of like ready for more movement, action. I don't really know if I can put an actual pin on what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? But it was like, by the end of it, I was satisfied. But in the middle, I was like, I'm ready to get to this or that, get to that, or where are we going to go? But I think they did a good job of, like I said, getting me there in the end, right? It's not about the journey, all right? It's about the destination. And I liked where I was going.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all part of it. I think it was a slow burn to get me there. I think the introduction, we're already in spoilers if you didn't know. Spoilers. The stalker scene was so good, right? Of just like, all right, there's one, we got it. Oh, there's 2. Oh, fuck. And they look around, there's so many. That was cool. Getting the Seraphites the way we did, right, of interrupting that scene. Dina taking an arrow to the knee. I was like, hell yeah. All right, cool. Like, I like where we're going. I like where we're mixed up. Let alone to have Ellie break off and get to that Nora scene that we've been waiting for and wanting for so long, right? Let alone the intrigue. If you're not, maybe you're a Josh McCouga. If you're not someone who played the games, right, who texts me and Tim every Monday morning to ask
What the hell's going on?
I'm like, to have them ask that question of, wait, she knew, and this, that, and the other. Like, I liked all that. And I thought it was a powerful setup in the beginning, too, with the actress that I only know from Waiting. Remember, she's the mom in Euphoria too.
Yes.
But she walks
The leader
in,
of
and
the
then
wolves.
was this woman who was smoking the cigarette and sent her son to die? Was she also from Daredevil? Is she the cop in Daredevil too?
Maybe.
Yeah.
She did
All
look
I know is
familiar.
it was
Maybe you're
trippy.
right there.
Is Dina one of the Lanterns?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was trippy because I saw
yeah.
that preview. I was like, wait, is she in every HBO show?
Oh,
now?
oh, yeah,
I'm
she
okay with
Should
it.
be. Hell yeah! Come on, Peacemaker. Jen said those fucking magic words when we were watching that Peacemaker
What'd she
trailer.
say?
She goes, "I really got to watch season 1." And I said,
Oh,
"Yes, you do."
we
She still
really
hasn't
do.
watched it. I'm like, I'm like,
really
we have to
do.
watch
Awesome.
season 1 again.
We gotta watch that trailer.
Yes. Nick, what'd you think?
I liked it. I liked the ending of it. I thought I'm with Greg a little. I think the last couple episodes had a bit of a slow burn. I'm still catching up because I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about the 4th episode, which introduced Jeffrey Wright, which is always good.
Oh, yeah.
It's always good when you have him in it. His character, I'm absolutely fascinated with. We can talk about it later. Ultimately, by the time we got to the end of this, by the time we got to basement level 2, I was pretty enthralled with where we were. Leading up to it, these are the parts in the games where you're actually playing, so I think the mechanic does a lot of the heavy lifting there, and the storytelling is a little thin with those moments, but I enjoyed it through and through.
Yeah. I feel like I am on a different planet when it comes to this show, this season, and even like this episode, just from the discourse that I've seen of like how upset people seem to be, or just how like they seem to be. I really thoroughly enjoyed this episode for kind of the counter to what Nick's even saying here of like, I enjoyed how it portrayed the gameplay elements where you are kind of just walking around Seattle, walking through the bushes with the Seraphites attacking the whole hospital sequence. Like, I think that they did a really good job of taking the elements of what the storytelling has to do in those gameplay bits, but translating it to the medium of TV. Like, I was really just kind of captivated and loving the kind of journey we went on with Ellie and Dina and their relationship of she's the smart one, she's the shoot first, ask questions later, and
you're crazy. You're crazy. Don't get offended. I love you for that. I was like, that's so funny.
It's just good stuff, and like I think that they introduced the stalkers in the perfect way, and they introduced the dark side of the Seraphites. Like we saw the torture scene last week, which obviously is very messed up, but we've seen torture before. We've seen Joel do it, our hero do that, right?
Yeah.
Or antagonist or protagonist at the very least. And the way that we see them like stealth mode, actually hiding. Now they're as a group together, and seeing this like essentially public execution for this religion. I think it just really like raised the stakes, and the fear of the whistles and surround sound was an insane experience. But like that stuff was, I think, very well presented and like looked beautiful. I loved the set. And the not a perfect episode. I do think the hospital stuff went a little fast. In terms of like the chasing down Nora part of it, like getting into the hospital and chasing down Nora, like in the game, I think felt a little bit more well paced, I guess. But I think that the introduction of Jesse made up for all of that to me, where I thought they did such a good job of making him seem like, oh shit, like he came and saved the day. And like it was one of those TV moments where Gia next to me, who does not know what's going on in the story, that happened. She's like, like, thank God someone saved them, because it really felt like they weren't going to get out of this. And it makes sense who it was and how they did it, right? Sure. So I was really, really into all of that stuff. And I just think that the way that they get to the end of this episode and this portrayal of Ellie and Nora and how that all goes down and the introduction of the spores, I've been so concerned about. We've been talking about this like the last couple months of like, seems like from the trailer, they're introducing spores. They didn't do that in the first season. Definitely a clear choice to get rid of them. Why would they add them back now? And more importantly, how are they going to make that make sense and make that feel like a good choice? I feel like it was an amazing choice. I think it adds so much like layers of tension to Seattle itself, and the way that these characters know about the spores, and that Nora's talking, like realizing what's happening and thinking Ellie's fucked, but realizing that she's the immune one. Like all that stuff was so great because of the opening of this episode of the woman smoking the cigarette and getting that hands-on experience of like, I was there and I saw what happened to my son.
Yeah, they did such a great job of making the spores terrifying. And I know that sounds stupid because of course that would be terrifying in real life, but the way like the person who over here, they were saying the person isn't the cop from Daredevil. She was in Hung, which I watched a couple episodes of Hung, but I don't remember that well enough. Maybe that's why it's nebulously in my brain. And then somebody said, "Wait, was that woman in Waitress?" I thought I said Waiting. I mean Waiting, the Ryan Reynolds Waiting.
I think you did say Waiting.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, they do such a great job of introducing a brand new concept and then showing two characters who shouldn't be scared of shit. Let alone like when she's smoking right and the woman walks in, like I thought they send Isaac, and Isaac's gonna come if you get killed, right? Like I'm here. He's gonna be there to execute you. Like okay, cool. They're both unsure of what's going on. They establish stuff, and then it's like the sealed it up. That was the thing. My son. It's such a great, like, holy shit moment of like, yeah, that would be terrifying. What does it actually mean? What does it actually mean to have spores out there?
Yeah, and I think that in addition to the spores, like the stalkers, I think the show's done a good job separately from the game, and I think better than the game, of making these new things not just feel like a new gameplay threat, but like a actual story beat threat of like, like, and seeing we've had so much more of the Jackson in the show. So like getting just like the people's reaction and conversation of like, yo, one of them was smarter. And then having the ramifications of like, do people believe Ellie about that? Like,
Yeah.
and is that true? And if it is true, that's scary as hell that some of these things can be smarter, you know?
Yeah.
And to see that stuff, and then also them like, wait, it's in the air now. Like that realization, that's absolutely terrifying. And I think just kind of, I don't know if grounds is the right word, but I think centers the actual threats of the cordyceps in the show in a way that I think really enhances this version of the plot.
Right, because I think this is a conversation I've had with multiple people now of like this discrepancy of what we would do in these scenarios versus what these characters who are literally born into this world would do in these scenarios. To see in their eyes, through their eyes, I should say, both the infected themselves and the spores, the threat level up to a place of, oh shit, we've never been here before. Yeah, we've had 20 some years of it like this, but we've never had this. This is a brand new thing to deal with. That's interesting.
Well, she even has that line too. I think there's a line where Ellie's like, "What is this thing that they're staying away from? Right, this big rectangular thing that we have to sneak this thing away from." And she's like, "Well, there'll be some clickers and some whatever. We'll figure it out." And then we have that crazy. I think maybe it might have been actually the episode prior where you have Dina counting.
Yeah.
And then she gets to 5, and by the time she gets to 3, she's like, "We're screwed."
Yeah.
So I like that they have those baked in escalations, but I do think I think the spores really do have it. It takes that tension to another level. Because now there's a bigger threat out there, which is the air. And there's nothing scarier than an airborne parasite, right? And I just, even having played the game, but when she goes down to the basement and you see, and it's coming, you see Elle Parker or whatever, like, I forget the kid's name. That was the smoking woman's son. And
Leon,
he's like,
I think?
Leon, yeah.
Leon
And all
Kennedy.
of them that were trapped down there are just like in the wall, like poofing out, vaping out pores. That is a visually terrifying and grotesque thing to put on screen.
Stolen right from Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
You hate to see it. You hate to see an effect copied.
Yeah.
There it is.
You really
Way to go,
do.
Neil.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Alien Covenant copied Prometheus. But I digress. I thought this was
Predator in review. Come check it out.
Yeah. We'll be back in a couple weeks. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, I also loved the deepening of the wolf lore too, from the perspective of Dina and Ellie.
Yeah. Well, that was what I was going to say. I love that they're really sort of fleshing out the wolves, like the actual sex that you're getting to see. I think that's a really smart move, and I think you have to do that because I think I'm fascinated by the wolves now. I want to know more about them, and I know we got to see Abby more in the game, but still, like this could be Jeffrey Wright's story, and I would watch another 7 episodes of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the radio stuff, like the storytelling of them being like, hey, they're just so overconfident that they're just on open radios, like saying all this stuff. Like that, I think is such a cool detail to add to this, and like it gives a lot of context to the end of last episode. I think it was of them. It must have been looking out and seeing this war happening, and like the two of them making the commitment of we're doing this together. And it's like, how are you gonna do it? They're making it believable of how they're gonna do it. Like they are tactically getting the information, and the information's being given to them because of the overconfidence in the WLF. Like I think that's great.
One of your when you kicked off, you were talking about being on another planet, it feels like, or universe in terms of the reaction to this show. One of the things that I didn't have a problem with last week that I've seen so much discourse about, right, is the decision by both Ellie but mainly Dina to still go on this revenge quest with the baby. I think they did a great job in this episode of having Dina be like, shut the fuck up, Ellie. Life sucks. It's always sucked. This 8-year-old had to kill this guy. My sister and mom got killed. It doesn't matter. We don't live in this that world / this world, our world, where you would be weighing everything down.
Yep.
Like there could die at any second of every day. Like why are they worried about this?
And another thing I loved about it is I loved last week how it was different, that it wasn't an immediate fight between the two of them, but it was more of a moment, an opportunity for love between the two characters, and like a commitment to, hey, we are a thing together, and like I'm gonna be a dad moment, like all that stuff. Like I think that was like very cool and different from the game, but I appreciate that in this episode we did get some of that fight, and it was a bit less of like antagonistic and more let's talk this out. But I think it was really, really well back up by Jesse returning, and how the dynamic shifted there, where this episode kind of being like, all right, I'm with you, and like Dina kind of putting it in Ellie's hands of just like, you get to choose if I'm coming with you or not. And like that's like a very, very like hard thing to put on somebody both ways, right? But they're, I think, proving to each other that they are in this together, including putting the baby at risk in all of this. And Jesse coming to save them, immediately that shifts a lot of things. Because first off, it is physically Jesse's baby, right?
Yeah.
So I think that dynamic is very interesting. But on top of that, immediately Ellie trusts Jesse to take care of Dina.
Sure.
And when Ellie has the opportunity to leave them and go after her target, Nora, in the hospital, she does that immediately. And that feels very like, what the hell? That's not what this entire episode just built up to, of we're in this together and all this stuff. But also, it just shows she trusts Jesse that way. And I think that there's a lot there that I'm going to be fascinated with, knowing how the rest of the game goes and Dina's story with Ellie. I feel like getting this bit here, how different it was from the game, is potentially more interesting to get to the end of the game with how Dina feels about Ellie and the kid and everything.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think, to go back to Greg's point, it's the dynamics are interesting because they think they both know they're set out on this thing that's completely reckless to begin with. And so the idea is, how far into the void do we want to go with this? And I liked that scene where she's like, yeah, we're already in for a penny, in for a pound here, right? Like they have that conversation. And then Jesse has a good moment where, Ellie tries to kind of, being the crazy one, being the more brash one, say, hey, we had it covered. And he goes,
until when?
Until you didn't.
Yeah.
And she goes, and then she has to give, and she goes, yeah, until we didn't, right? So I think she knows she's on a fool's errand. It's just how far into it is she willing to go?
She's crazy.
She's crazy. Everybody, super chat in your thoughts on this episode. If you want to get your questions answered or anything, please send them in. We're about to take a quick word from our sponsors, but we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium, polarized sunglasses that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. Take it from Tim Geddes, who rocks his Shady Rays every day going on Pokemon Go walks, out and about SF looking dope. If you don't love your shades, exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. That's shadyrays.com, promo code FUNNY. This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. Every day we're taking photos from big events to silly moments, but doesn't it sometimes feel like all of your favorite photos are just stuck on your camera roll? Wouldn't it be great to have an easy way to share and enjoy them with friends and family? That's where Aura comes in. Aura makes it effortless to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone, so your favorite memories are always within view. Plus, you can personalize and preload an Aura frame for a unique and special gift. We love Aura frames in this office. Roger has one at home he got for his fiance's birthday, and she absolutely loves it. It takes about 2 minutes to set up the frame using the Aura app. Add unlimited photos and videos and invite as many people as you want to an Aura frame. There are absolutely no hidden fees or subscriptions, and for a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by going to auraframes.com to get $20 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's auraframes.com, promo code AURA20. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. With prices going up on just about everything lately, being smart with your money isn't just a good idea, it's essential. But managing subscriptions, tracking spending, and cutting costs can feel overwhelming. Lucky for you, Rocket Money takes the guesswork out of it so you can easily make smart decisions. Rocket Money has helped multiple members of Kind of Funny learn they were still paying for things they totally didn't even realize. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts. And then you get alerts if bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year while using the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/kindafunny today. That's rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. rocketmoney.com/kindafunny.
Greg, we were going back and forth. Future days.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Were. We sure were.
Here it is.
What a nice tease of it. You know what I mean? Again, I think for us as the gamers who've done all this and do it, it's so nice to see these things and these like things that people don't understand how important they're going to be or what it's going to play or how it's going to go. You know what I mean? Of like even the cliffhanger to this episode of what you're about to get into. Kevin, your mic's open. It's just this idea of like, damn, that's such a nice little setup and such a nice answer to us of like, when are they going to introduce the song? Because they got to.
Yeah.
And the idea that Ellie starts it and then it's just too painful to continue.
It's good stuff, man. I got chills watching it. I thought it was so fun to see, like, in the game, you get to that part and you can actually play the guitar and gameplay and stuff in the theater. I thought that was really a cool little nod, and the way they shot it was just so awesome. Like, even just seeing her stand on the stage and, like, look at all the instruments and look at all the seats, and there's this, like, weirdly hopeful moment in such a dark world of The Last of Us, of seeing this girl who only knows all of this but does love music because of Joel and loves guitar and all that. Imagining, like, they don't say this, but you just see it on her face.
She
it's like,
gets to be a kid for a second.
She's imagining, like, can you imagine being
alone,
here and people cheering for
as
me?
we all know how cool it is to be in a theater. Like, even for us, it's cool to go to a venue, a concert, a stage performance of any kind, right? And so when she walks in and it has that, whoa, like, again, I think Bella Ramsey does such a great job, in my mind, of portraying things with little nuanced touches. Like I said, I've said throughout this, Abby, like the way she says Abby, the way she walks in there and the way her eyes light up, and like, yeah, they don't say that she is in her head pretending, imagining, you know, she's up there performing. You just know by watching it, let alone how cool a theater is. And she looks up at the glass as she walks in. Really dumb idea to turn on all the lights in this theater that I don't think I ever in the game would have clocked, because you're in the video game, you do the objective, you move on. Here it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you turning these on?
Did she turn them on, or were they just on? Because
She turned them on.
Everywhere they go, I'm like, man, Seattle has a lot of power.
She makes a whole comment about how she turned it. She comes up like, ta-da, and Dina's like, what, the lights? Yeah. And she's like, oh, it's propane, natural gas down there.
Oh, okay. Jeez, I missed that whole I missed that whole section.
That's what you were doing. You're on your own
Token
national.
blend.
You're national.
I liked Dina, like, making the maps in the beginning of the episode. And the
Cool.
way
She being a huge nerd is great. Wanting a protractor is great. Using the straight edge of a magazine for your pistol, that's dope.
Yeah,
it's pretty
super is. But I just love that, again, from the translating gameplay stuff too. It's like the map of Seattle and, like, filling it out was, like, such a big part of that open world section that I thought that was a very cool thing. And again, it really enhances Dina's character. Like, I'm enjoying Isabella Merced is my favorite thing about season 2 of the show. Like, she continues to crush it.
I mean, Superman, everybody. Don't forget, July, that's coming up.
What,
Superman. Yeah,
is that how you say it?
These fucking clowns at Marvel somehow getting Fantastic Four to sponsor the goddamn IMAX screen. I'll let you know, there's a movie before then called Superman you need to be ready for. Also shot for IMAX, no big deal.
And that's the one that's like that builds into Peacemaker.
Yes, that's right.
He's got a big S on his chest.
Yeah.
It's like Sentry, but not as
It
cool.
used to mean hope. We'll see what it means.
Oh, cool.
Calvin Perez super chats in saying, I think the big thing lost in the adaptations, the overwhelming burden of pursuing Abby. The game has small things that remind us that's why you're in Seattle for the first 2 days. I do think that is a tough thing, right? Like, I don't disagree with that, where this needs to handle so much of setting up location of the Seraphites Forest and the hospital, and, like, getting to the hospital and all of that I think that a lot of the in the game, I don't even think needs to be explicitly said over and over, just because you're out there shooting things. It feels more violent and feels more vengeful than the story in the show has, especially when there's an anger to Ellie the entire way through in the game. Like, she fights with Dina when she finds out she's pregnant. She's angry. She gets to Nora. She kills so many people in the hospital. The show, instead, having it be she gets to Nora, and that moment, I thought, hits not harder, but differently, very hard, because it goes from 0 to 60, right?
Yes, I think you're 100% correct. And I think, again, this is us, maybe the downside of being a gamer watching this, is that we come in with our preconceived notions of what our journey as Ellie was. I think this is a different journey for Ellie. I think Bella Ramsey's Ellie, as we've talked about multiple times, is a different version of Ellie in general. And so I think what they're trying to do, and I don't know, Nick, you are more trained in the craft of screenwriting and making things, but it's the idea here that, okay, we want you, the viewer, to almost forget at times why you're on this journey, so that when we make a turn like this with Nora and we see Ellie go off the deep end and wail on her legs, just like we saw Joel do in season 1, where for so many people that was like, whoa, I didn't expect Joel to do that, right? I think in the video game it was a whoa, I didn't expect Joel to do that, right? You need to be reminded of what is at stake here. And again, I think for what we've now set off on. Now, I feel like now, much like the Xbox dominoes, the domino on the revenge Ellie has fallen. And so I think when she goes back to Dina, she's going to be a different Ellie, like she was in the game, if you remember, when she came back after finding Nora. Like, I think that's important, and I think we keep week to week questioning motivations that'll make more sense when it's an entire season, let alone another season on top of that.
Yeah, I do think it's hard, though. I do think it feels like it's going by at such a fast clip. And then there are moments where the two of them are just legitimately having fun that I don't remember in the game. And again, my memory of the game is very, very, very like loose. So I'm sure there were those moments of levity. But I do feel like I think the story, I think you get more to the commenter's point. I do think it is more belabored and more of a sort of albatross at a certain point than it is here. Here it just seems like it's day 2 and it almost feels like the season's almost done, right? So I don't know where we're going to end up or where they're going to be. But I just remember specifically even the game, the moment in the park where you have to sort of sneak around all the Seraphites being so much more like tedious and scary. And I think this is just the nature again of the medium of, we got to tell a story. We have to tell it in such a way where we don't have the person able to literally physically pick up a controller and play through these moments and get the enjoyment out of that. So we do have to have those other, we have to sandwich in a lot of other moments with other characters here. But I think that I will be happy if Bella plays it more quiet rage from here on out, or building rage from here on out, because I do think there are elements of the show that I don't love. And those elements are when I feel like they should just when they have those moments of, hey, we're just kicking it and look at how beautiful we are and someone made a noise, but it's fine, we're in downtown Seattle, of like two normal people, obviously not in the post-apocalyptic, like, what the hell are we doing? We got to get the fuck out of here. Like, why are we doing this, right? And so I always felt like in the game they did such a great job of being like, the second they could have those feelings, something would interrupt. There'd be a big thing or this and this and this. But yeah, overall, where this episode ended, I definitely want to pick up with these characters and see where they end up.
So we get the next time on thing. We get the end of this episode.
I didn't watch it. I hate those. Are we supposed to watch those?
God damn it! I hate this so much. Yes. We get the end of this episode thing with we see Joel and he's back, baby.
Younger.
And he's a lot younger. And then we see the thing next week of like, all right, cool. We're getting the rocket ship stuff. We know next week will be directed by Neil Druckmann. So that's very exciting. What do we get next week, Greg? Is there any predictions you have?
Yeah, we get the flashback to the thing, and you're gonna get you'll get the answer to how did Ellie know, right? Of like when Ellie rolls up on Nora, and Nora's like, Joel deserved this. He killed Abby's dad, and she goes, I know. Like, I think for a lot of people that was meant to be a what the fuck, right? And then this is supposed to set you off on finding that out. I think even in the teaser, right? Not even the teaser. I'm sorry. The cliffhanger here at the end, right? They specifically got out of their way to show Joel waking her up in her bed in his house, right? So like, if you've been paying attention and you didn't play the game, you'd still get of like, oh right, she moved out and that was the whole thing. So like, I think we're gonna get the conflict here to break them up and show what happened.
Do you think next week is all flashbacks, like at least 98% or whatever, and maybe we catch up at the very end? Because I can see them doing all of the flashbacks from the game, minus the important end ones, like the porch stuff.
Yeah,
I could see them doing the museum stuff. The I forget what city they went to, where they were like, where Tommy like is teaching them how to use the gun, teaching her how to use the gun, and I feel like that's where, outside of that, once they get through that situations where he tells her what happened.
Yeah, I remember them. It obviously wasn't the spaceman scene where we then had the eventual revelation scene. I do think they bundle those together. I think it happens organically here, where they go out on this perfect day and then.
Oh, really?
I do.
You think
they're going to bring it up?
Yeah, I think we're going to get. I think that the structure of next episode is going to be like vignette flashbacks, and then it's just like 4 months later. 8 months later, like whatever it is. Because I also think from seeing the trailer for the season, like the overall this season on thing, like we see the Eugene character. So I think that at some point, they're going to tie that in. I can't figure out where they're tying that in though.
Oh, that's
got to be this episode, right?
I think it'll be this episode, but like what's that going to look like? Like, is there a way they tie that?
Do you think his flashback force the Eugene? Whatever happened between Joel and Eugene then somehow triggers the actual conversation between him and Ellie?
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah.
Get Tommy involved, though. Like, I feel that would be the shooting stuff. I think that they're gonna do something with that. Although maybe the shooting stuff they already handled in Jackson.
I forget. It's such a blur of the show and the game. We have seen in. Did we see we saw in the teaser for this season of The Last of Us, Joel cleaning the guitar and telling Tommy about how he saved her? Or am I just totally conflating that?
We saw that already, and that was in the premiere. Or
was it? Shit.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
The premiere episode 2. But I'm pretty
You're
sure
right. You're right. I think it might have even been the very, very opening of it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested though. I feel like they can do something really cool with that and like add even more layers to the is Joel the good guy, bad guy? Because like from what we know from the therapist, it's like Joel was the one to kill Eugene.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but the town understands. She understands to a degree.
yes,
Her head understands her heart.
We're assuming he was turning, so he had to be shot. But like, is it that clear cut? You know, I don't know. But I'm excited to find out.
Did he find out that Ellie is immune? Did he have to die? We don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Nick.
That
Right?
happens and they just lie and say he was infected.
Holy
Maybe,
shit.
Who knows, right? Because that's such a
That
big,
would definitely
big,
solve my
big,
problem
big
of trying to make
secret.
you all understand that he's the bad guy. If he was just the bad guy,
We'll see. I don't know. That's where my head went first time.
maybe he's just a hamburglar though, and they kill him that way.
I want you to touch Tim more. I don't know why you don't touch him as much.
That was a very subtle touch. Don't call it out.
He hated it.
I hate him. Crew neck boys for life.
Yeah, buddy. I like when you touch my crew neck for no reason.
Why are they
That's
getting
fun, too.
worse and
I
worse
don't
every
know,
week?
Well, it's
Kevin.
been
I
10
really
years,
don't know.
Kevin.
For all of us, I've been here the
You're
whole
over
time.
there though. You're sequestered now,
Yeah,
all right?
you're
You
in
don't
the
know what
other
it's
room.
like
We
over
can't
here.
touch you.
You brought this up, Greg, but the Joel being a bad guy, like the concept of him not sacrificing for the greater community and all that stuff in the little post show breakdown behind the scenes thing, like something that I thought was really cool that I didn't put together myself was them talking about the opening cigarette woman, how she did the opposite of Joel, where she did sacrifice for the greater good of the community. And I
Yeah,
think
she
that's,
listened to her child, her real child too, not just a
Exactly.
child she imprinted on.
Yeah.
It didn't actually listen
Yeah,
to.
so it's just like, oh, there's some
Very
good stuff here,
interesting.
man.
Dude, that even that one moment where the lady from Waiting is just staring at the basement
Yeah,
and staring at and just knowing that it's not going to be enough. Like you get that what a great bit of just not like visual storytelling and just emoting from this character who's just literally dead inside and just seeing this and being like, that's the scariest thing ever is behind that door. And no matter how much you weld that shit shut, it's gonna get through.
Yeah.
And then I honestly think the scene between her and the mom, the sergeant, who was smoking a cigarette, arguably one of the best scenes that's been in the show.
I think so
just
too.
Loved that. I could watch those two actors just sit across the table and talk to each other the entire time.
Yeah,
Also, it really made me want a cigarette.
Oh my god, can you imagine how great that would be?
The performance of the cigarette woman I thought was so good, and it's what she was saying. It's like it felt real, and I said this earlier, but like it makes this show feel a lot more important than just an adaptation. It's like, oh, there's writing here to try to like make this make sense on a TV level to people, and having like all the parallels and everything going into it, and it raises the stakes of the sports, makes them make sense, and makes them scary, and it makes it feel like even though they have cities and they have groups, like their civilization's not back. We're not prepared for everything that's going to be thrown at us because there's still new things and new elements to this fear.
Right. And it also it makes the bad guys sympathetic, which I think is what the game was good at doing to begin with, right? Like there's a perspective shift at some point where you do empathize and you're forced to play as Abby, and that's done on purpose because then when you get to those gut-wrenching moments where people have to be killed or kill or be killed, it means something. It matters. You as the player, you as the audience, like me as the audience, I'm looking at this woman who had to make this horrible choice and then let her son just basically die in this basement. And I'm thinking that's a very vulnerable and sympathetic, like I can empathize with this person. Maybe she's done horrible stuff, but I get it. And just going back to last week, because I wanted to kind of spot out, I'm sure you guys talked about it all, but the way we introduced Jeffrey Wright and the fact that he's like, you're so-and-so, and she's like, yeah, you're Isaac. He's like, okay. And he walks back to the SWAT car, the troop transport, taking out 2 grenades, just throws them in, just so
Amazing.
like, just throws them in like it's a matter of fact, just like matter of course, and they all die. It's just such a horrifying thing to do. But then the conversation happening right before that, where you're all Greenbergs or whatever it was, it's like you're all fucking Greenbergs.
Yeah.
Like you're all just done. You're gone. You're wastes. You have that one guy. God, that was so good. So good.
Hetty Park is
Thank you.
Lieutenant or Sergeant Park that we keep talking about in the show. And more importantly for me, why I'm so hung up on the Daredevil thing, she was a cop in The Outsider. So thank you very much,
Outsider.
everybody. We got there in the end. Chat, you did nothing. You kept talking about hung, and that didn't help me. So
God,
you need to look
unique
yourselves in the mirror.
technique. Look yourself in the mirror. CJ, look yourself in the mirror.
Everyone, look yourself in the mirror. Thank you so much for joining us for this breakdown of Last of Us. The next 2 weeks, we will return. Of course, we're also doing our weekly Andor screencasts. This week is the final one. That's crazy. The end of Andor forever. I am very sad to see it go. But come hang out with us on Friday as me, Carboni, Sage, and Barrett Courtney all get together to give our thoughts on that.
For a second, I thought he was saying and or a screencast. I was like, well, which one is it, and or?
Let us know in the comments which one it is, everybody. And
Make every choice, which is
all
going
right?
to be.
Make
Is
up
it
your
gonna be,
fucking
bro?
choice,
Look
everyone.
yourself in the mirror, Tim.
Stay tuned.
If you can, you
We're about to
non-champion.
have Nick play Expedition 33 for the first time. I'm excited to see it, but I'm sick of him, so I don't know that I'm going to watch it right now. But you probably aren't sick of him, so please check it out. If you're on Twitch, stay where you are. If you're on YouTube, make the jump over to another video. Till next time, I love you all. A goodbye.